I'm just a guy who loves Disney that has way too much time on his hands. If anybody from Disney is watching, please don't sue me. I'm here to rate, review, and describe all of your favorite things from the magical world of Disney. I'm File91e and welcome to my Disney News and Reviews. Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Disney News and Reviews. I'm File91e. And a pretty cool week for me, this guys. Sorry for being so late. I went to Disney on Ice yesterday, and that's normally when that I do my Disney show on Saturdays. But I had a great time. It's always a good show. I really urge you guys to go see Disney on Ice. It was the 100 Years of Magic show, and I had already seen that actually. I think I reviewed it too, which is excellent. But I was going to review it, but I think I already did. But I'm not quite sure. I'll have to go back and look at it. But it was a great show, and I really urge you guys, if you guys hear that Disney on Ice is in your area, to just go and enjoy it because it's really fun, and I had a great time. So excellent stuff. And congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. You guys really put a hurting on those Denver Broncos. It was like 43-8. That's unbelievable. I could not believe that. Boring Super Bowl, but I couldn't believe that you beat the Denver Broncos that bad. Also, the Where in the World answer. Obviously, this was an easy one this week. It was the Carousel of Progress. You guys pretty much nailed me on that, but not all of them are going to be hard every week. So I don't know, maybe I'll try to make this one a little more difficult this week. Also, I mentioned last week that there was a podcast coming. Yes, there is a podcast coming. I just realized I needed to get a new wire for my microphone in order to pick it up because it was giving me terrible feedback, and I got a new wire and it sounds good now. So I just need to find the time to actually go and record the stuff. And and basically what the podcast is going to be is just me talking about stuff that I can't really talk about on here, or at least I don't have enough time to talk about on here. Just random Disney stuff, all the way from what I'm doing with Disneyland to why I think Snow White is the worst princess in all of Disney, just different things like that, just different opinions. So I should be finding time to record that one day this week. So hopefully that'll be up soon. Who knows? I'm also continuing to save for Disneyland. That's been a main priority for me. I have at the end of this month, I'm going to be, actually, putting the giant down payment. It won't be fully paid off, but it'll be almost paid off, more than 3/4 of the way paid off. But I just want to get a good down payment in, and just to kind of say that I'm going. There is no way to back out, because although I'm 99% in my head going, there's always, that one thing that could prevent me. But once I put the down payment in, that means I'm going, and so I have about 3 more weeks, so it's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited. These next 2 months, speaking of getting ready for Disneyland, this month is prep month, which I'm just talking about what you would need to do to get ready to go to Disney World, and just giving you some random tips and whatnot. Next month is merchandise month, in which I'm actually going to be reviewing bits of Disney merchandise. At the end of the month, I'm going to be showing some different things that I got over the summer from you fine people from Disneyland. So all the merch from Disneyland that you've given me, I would like to show you guys. Also, I want to be reviewing 3 things from Disney World that you can buy while you're down there. One of them is Vinylmations and things like that, all the different Disney merchandise that you can get. And I'm also going to be reviewing 3 different things that you can find anywhere that are just Disney related. It could be like a Play-Doh set from Disney, or a Lego set from Disney, that sort of thing. And I'm going to be giving them away, I think, at the end of that month. So that should be fun. Merchandise March. If you guys have any ideas on what bits of Disney merchandise, if you guys went to a Toys R Us and you saw a cool toy or something like that, let me know so I can check it out, see if it's going to be something that I would want to buy, show you guys, and give away. So I think merchandise is a big part of Disney, and I think that could be just a really fun month. So I'm really excited about that. So that's it for me this week, guys. Let's get right to the news. Congratulations to the winners of this year's Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks. As you should know, each Super Bowl's MVP gets to say the famous "I'm going to Disney World" line and gets to participate in the Super Bowl festivities the next day in Walt Disney World. This year's MVP, linebacker Malcolm Smith, followed in the tradition and was the highlight of the ticker tape parade at the Magic Kingdom. Everything went well and it looked like he had a great time, but you got to admit, he did look a little bit tired, and he has to be tired after, playing the game, guarantee you partying, that night, not really sleeping a whole lot, having to get up, do this, and it's, I wouldn't say, it's a hard thing because I'm sure you're so happy and all that, but he must have been tired. So that's really, funny. A significant update to the My Magic Plus My Disney Experience app is set for an imminent release, addressing many of the performance and usability issues. The newly updated app will be first released on Apple's iOS devices, with Android following later in the year. Expect to see an updated home screen giving an at-a-glance list of your plans, improved navigation, and faster performance. The app will be delivered as an update to the existing My Disney Experience app via the App Store. So keep an eye out if you got an iPhone, kind of like I do. You might want to just keep an eye out for that, for the update, and update it as soon as possible. Especially if you're going down to Disney World. I just happen to have it, even when I don't have it, even when I'm not going down to Disney World. So that's just kind of the cool guy I am. Longtime World Showcase act Miyuki is no longer appearing at Epcot's Japan Pavilion. The popular performer displayed the unique skill of candy art, creating a huge variety of intricately detailed animals out of molten candy right in front of guests' eyes. Her show is one of the most entertaining at Epcot and will be greatly missed by fans. Her final performance was at the end of 2013. People thought that she was going to be back. She's not going to be. The Matsuritsu drummers continued to perform at the Japan Pavilion, so I really dig them. So it's a shame to see her go. Yeah. And in some rehab and refurbishment news, the Ziti Sisters show at Epcot's Italy Pavilion will be closing later this month. The final performance will be on February 22nd. Sources familiar with the situation tell us that there are no plans for a replacement show at this time. So, it's unfortunate. I kind of like that. The Ziti Sisters. That's funny. And finally, the Magic Kingdom's Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover refurbishment that was scheduled to begin on February 10th has been postponed. Although not yet confirmed, it is thought that the refurbishment will be moved to coincide with a larger refurbishment involving the Astro Orbiter later this year. So, yeah, keep that in mind when you're going down to Disney World. That's it for the news this week. Let's get right to the reviews. Alright guys, like I said, this is prep month, so I want to be talking about, prepping to go to Walt Disney World. Going to Disney World is a big thing, and it's good to have some knowledge and tips when going down. The biggest thing is, I talked about this last week, getting a good guidebook. I actually contacted the Passporter site, and they are sending me a free guidebook of theirs. This is the Walt Disney World version, not the Disneyland version. So hopefully when I get that, I'll be able to review it and give you guys some good, from what I hear, it's a great guidebook, so I'm really looking forward. I would love to have multiple guidebooks to give me as much information as I possibly can, because information and pre-planning, like I said in the last video, is the key to getting a good Walt Disney World vacation. Now, one of the biggest things when going down to Disney World is deciding where to stay. I will now and forever always want to stay at a Disney hotel. I just think that it's more convenient, and I embrace convenience, more than a lot of other people would. But there are alternate hotels that you can stay at outside of Walt Disney World that are a little bit cheaper, that are could be more convenient in some other ways for other people. So that's what I want to be talking about today, is all the hotels and places to stay outside of Walt Disney World, and giving you the pros and cons of staying on-site versus off-site. I've already reviewed many Disney hotels before, especially the All-Star Resort. I reviewed that, gave you all kinds of video and whatnot, so you could get a good idea of what staying on site at a Walt Disney World resort is like. Excuse me, but I haven't talked about staying off site because I really don't promote that a whole lot. But it is an option, and I'm going to be talking about it for all you people out there. So the first option on staying outside of Walt Disney World are obviously off-site hotels. When they were building Disney World, sure enough, just like they did in Disneyland, they decided to build hotels outside of Walt Disney World, to give out, I guess, people options on staying. But Disney, being Disney, bought enough space inside of Walt Disney World to create as many hotels as they ever wanted. It's not as direct as Disneyland is. At Disneyland, there are hotels literally right across the street that aren't affiliated with Disney World at all. So it's pretty amazing. When Disney built Disneyland, he took all the the minuses from building Disneyland and applied them and made pluses when he built Walt Disney World. So that's kind of funny. Outside hotels are they're very numerous, and they're all kinds of different prices. Disneyland hotels, the value resorts range from $80 to $120 a night, all the way up to $500. Outside, you can easily average just about $100 a night, for outside hotels. So that's a big savings, especially if if you're if you have to pinch pennies, staying outside of Walt Disney World in a hotel is an option. But I'll go into more of the pros and cons of staying on-site versus off-site later, especially about hotels. Now, another place or another option for people staying off-site is trailer parks. Now I know that's it doesn't exactly sound glamorous, but trailer parks are really nice, especially if you have a big motorhome, or you have one of the ones that hitch to your truck in the back. Making a 2-week trip of driving down to Disney World, staying at a parking at a trailer park and then going to Disney World there. That's really cool. You get the ultimate freedom to go, come and go as you please. You always have your home with you. That sort of thing. Disney does have a trailer park, or a trailer option. It's the Fort Wilderness Campground, where they actually you can pull right in, or you can rent a cabin there, which is great too. Disney does have a trailer park option, but there are trailer parks outside of Walt Disney World, right on the main stretch, the main highway, just like right next to all those hotels. So that is an option when staying at Disney World, especially if you have that awesome RV. Renting an RV might not be as cost effective as staying at a hotel or whatnot, but if you already have an RV or a trailer home, that could be an option for you. Just stay at in a trailer park. I know I've actually had a couple friends do that, and they said they didn't have a problem with it. The only problem I could see is parking the RV. You would, I guess, since now if you have a detachable trailer home, I guess you could just drive the truck in. But if you have one of those motorized RVs, then you might have trouble finding a place to park it in the Disney parking lots. I'm not sure how that works out, to be perfectly honest. So that's the only I guess downfall I would see about that. But it still is an option. Another one is renting vacation homes in the area of Orlando and Kissimmee and whatnot. We actually did this back when I went back down in '98, I believe. My grandfather does not like to spend a whole lot of money, and he didn't want to stay inside Disney, the Disney parks, because he really couldn't find a good value with it. I honestly think he knew a guy and that's his home that we stayed at, or his summer home or whatever it was. But we stayed at it was just a regular home, and there was 12 or 15 of us, because we went down. It was like cousins and uncles and all that stuff, and we needed 4 bedrooms, and this place had 4 bedrooms. It was a heated pool. It was really nice. It was a really awesome time, place to stay. and we drove in and whatnot. And since I wasn't driving, I really didn't care. Although I still kind of prefer staying. I wanted to stay in a Disney hotel, but this was, the next, great thing. There are many places I guess you can go to find that, especially now with the internet. You can rent, a vacation homes for a week or a week or two at a time, and that might be an option for you, especially you with with large groups. Disney is now starting to cater to large groups as much as they are catering to just single families. But vacation homes are very convenient, and definitely an option, especially if you're going down to Walt Disney World. Now, there are 3 hotels that actually are in the Disney grounds that aren't affiliated with Disney whatsoever. The first 2 you know of are the Swan and Dolphin resorts. They're the 2 big hotels that you see just inside the Disney gates. They're themed very, lavishly and whatnot. They look pretty amazing, and a lot of people think they are Disney hotels. They're not. They're independently owned hotels that I think paid Walt for the place there to build there. So they do have some form of a link to Disney, but that's just the the allowance to be there. There are no shuttles or anything like that. This is it's very business-like. There is no lavish Disney decor and whatnot. The only thing that is Disney about is the fact that it's on Disney property. So the Swan and Dolphin hotels are 2 options, but they're really expensive, and they're in the Walt Disney grounds. So yeah, but there you go. But the last thing I want to talk to you about today is the Wyndham Bonnet Creek Resort at Walt Disney World. I reviewed this. I stayed there one of the last times I went. I think it was 2008, and I had a really good time. It felt like a Disney hotel, but it wasn't. Then the reason why it's in the Disney grounds is kind of funny. A guy would not, when Disney was buying up all that land, he would not sell to Disney. He wanted to stay there. And as the years went on, and he passed away, his relatives, I think, sold the land. They were open to selling the land, and Disney, I think, either didn't want it or they didn't want to sell it to Disney, so they sold it to somebody else, and that wound up being the Wyndham corporation that does all the timeshares. And there is a time, and they built this timeshare Wyndham Bonnet Creek Resort right in Walt Disney World, and they do have shuttle bus service to and from Walt Disney World. And there's a lot of methods to timeshare buying. Like you can buy time from the timeshare owners and things like that. You can go online. There's a lot of ways to do that. My grandfather invested in Wyndham Bonnet Creek and got the he actually could go down whenever. My grandparents could go down whenever they wanted to. So they invited us down. We didn't have to pay for a hotel, which was nice. We just paid for the tickets and the airfare, which saved a tremendous amount of money. And overall, it was okay. I didn't like the shuttle service though, because it was like on the hour, and there was only 1 shuttle per hour. So if you missed the shuttle or it couldn't fit on, you'd have to wait a whole other hour in order to get on. But I'm not sure if they've updated that at all. But it was nice that it was there. So that is an option, especially if you're staying down there. The timeshare of the Wyndham Bonnet Creek Resort is down there in Walt Disney World, but it's not affiliated with Disney in any way. So if you're going down, if you're looking for to buy somebody's timeshare, or just the room from somebody's timeshare stuff, go online, Wyndham Bonnet Creek, because I know there's a lot of trading and selling involved. I just don't understand it. There's a lot of hoops that I'm sure you have to jump through, but that is definitely an option when going to Disney World. So those are the places that you could potentially stay at. I'm sure I'm missing some motels or different other options, sleeping in your car, I don't know, but those are the main ones that I would recommend to you, I guess, if you feel that you have to stay outside of Walt Disney World for whatever reason. Those are the places, or the the things I would look into the most. So yep, there you go, check that out. Alright guys, the last thing I want to talk to you about today are the pros and cons of staying on site versus off site, which to me always boils down to convenience versus finance. Now what I mean by that is when when you're staying on site, when you boil all that down, all the stuff, it just stems from one thing, and that's convenience. So staying on site at a Disney hotel is all about convenience. From the time that you land on your plane, Disney has buses for you, shuttle services. You can basically, go anywhere you want to, and Disney will take you there. You have a ton of other of other things to do that Disney allows you, all just because you're staying on their hotel, in their hotels or on their land. And that's all convenience. It's all about convenience. You might pay a little bit more, and you will pay a little bit more versus staying off-site, just based on the fact that you're paying for convenience. That's what it is. You're paying for convenience when you're staying on-site, at Disney World. Some of the other things that are convenient about it, you get the Disney Magical Express, which I just said, which is the transport to and from the the hotel, to and from the hotel to the the parks and whatnot. Really good stuff. Then you have impeccable customer service. I've heard horror stories from people staying outside of Walt Disney World, trying to save a little bit of money, and they wound up getting burned by these people. They go down and try to listen to the the whole spiel about timeshares and whatnot, and I've heard like just horror stories based on that. Like, these people were seedy and not really cool, and I'm sure that doesn't apply to all of them, so don't think that I'm saying every bit of a timeshare thing is seedy and weird, but there are people out there that are trying to make money off of you. So Disney is upfront about it. They'll just say, yes, we're trying to make money off of you, but we will give you stuff in return. You don't have to rent a car. Again, Disney's Magical Express. You don't have to rent a car to drive in and out of Walt Disney World, so that saves you a little bit of money. I'm not a big fan of having to drive while on vacation, because driving is a pain in my butt. So I just to hop on a bus and go and do whatever I want to do. So that's excellent. And finally is the extra magic hours. Staying at a Walt Disney World hotel grants you the right for a certain hotel or certain parks and whatnot to get extra magic hours, which are literally extra hours in the park, where if you are not a resort guest, you're ushered out of the park, and everybody who is a resort guest gets to stay and have 3 more hours of fun at night, or an extra hour early in the morning. So it's really good stuff. Those extra magic hours often do come in handy when you're trying to see everything that the park has to offer. Again, all of those things that I told you, and those are just some of the big things. There's other little things that you can really talk about, with staying on site versus off site. But it all boils down to convenience. Like I said before, it is more convenient to not have to drive. It is more convenient to have great customer service, and and people helping you all the time and asking what they can do to help you. It's more convenient to have extra hours, free extra hours in the parks versus people staying off site. So it's just you're paying for it. You're paying for the convenience, but to me that's totally worth it. So staying on site to me is more worth it than staying off site, because I'm a huge Disney fan, and I like supporting the actual company and whatnot. I feel I'm supporting it through paying all that extra money. But if you are kind of a if you're hard up for money, I'm always hard up for money, but I'll save a little extra to stay on site. But I understand if you can't. So if you are hard up for a little money, here are some of the perks for staying off site. One, it can be cheaper. That's the biggest thing. Like I said earlier, convenience versus finance. Everything that I'm telling you is going to boil down to paying less. That's what it is. It's you're paying less, so you're not going to get as much, but you're still paying less, and that's kind of what convenience versus finance comes to. If you have a loyalty program to a particular chain of hotels, it could be beneficial to you. Again, you'll be saving more money. If say you're loyal to the Hilton or Best Western or anything like that, they always hotels always have these loyalty programs and reward programs. So you stay here all the time, so we'll give you an extra 10% off. Again, saving more money. That's pretty much what it boils down to. Another thing for some people that aren't big Disney fans, that are only taking their kids down there because the kids like it, there are no Disney theming really when it comes to Best Westerns outside of Disney World, or the Hiltons, or the other the Marriotts outside of Walt Disney World. There's no real Disney theming. The thing about staying on site is that you will get some Disney theming. You can't really escape seeing Mickey Mouse anywhere. Even at the ritzy ones like the Grand Floridian, or the the Contemporary and all that stuff, there's always going to be that Mickey Mouse logo somewhere. And some people, for whatever reason, can't handle that. They don't like it. They're only doing it for their family, and they really are against all of that, and they just need a break from it. So their reprieve could be going to an off-site hotel that doesn't have all that stuff, and they can watch TV and do whatever and read something that doesn't have to do with it, and do anything with it. But you're going to Disney World, so you should expect that there's Mickey Mouse everywhere. It's called Disney World, not Disney parking lot, or Disney park area, and everything else is everything to you. But whatever, I'm not that guy. Go to Six Flags if you don't want Disney, because sure, they have better rides. More flexibility for parties of 6 or more. That is actually true. Like I mentioned with staying at vacation homes, or some hotels will actually cater more to the big families, especially if you have people of 15 to 20 people. Like if you're bringing down your entire family, it's like a family reunion sort of thing. You might want to stay at one of these vacation homes outside of Walt Disney World. Although Disney is now starting to cater with the villas and the big expansion family suites toward families of a bigger size. With the new Art of Animation Resort, half of that whole thing is dedicated to family suites and bigger room sizes. You can get the villas, which is really nice. You can get the campground log cabins are actually really cool. They have a kitchen and everything like that, and they can hold a number of people. So that's really neat. Disney does have that, those options for you, but again, you're going to be paying a little bit more, which people don't want to do. So you can stay actually outside at an off-site hotel, and you'll be paying a little bit less. So the convenience of being able to acclimate or accommodate 6 or more people is a little bit less now than it was for off-site hotels, because Disney is trying to accommodate as much, but the price difference is still different. The price difference is still the same. You're still going to be paying less outside of Walt Disney World than you will in Walt Disney World most times, depending on if Disney's running deals or not. But talk to your travel agent; they'll be able to hook you up with that. And finally, and this is usually right, the rooms will be bigger. If you pay for a bigger room in Walt Disney World, you're going to be paying a little bit more, especially if you want a kitchen and all that stuff. Most hotels can come with rooms with a little kitchen and whatnot. The Wyndham Bonnet Creek resorts all the things come with a kitchen, especially these big giant presidential suites and whatnot. And it's still going to be cheaper than if you stayed in Walt Disney World. If you're just there for a bed, Disney has that, but also the outside hotels have that too. So again, you're going to be paying less outside than you will be paying inside. Now there are ways, I'm just going to say this, to manipulate your money in Walt Disney World. Like say if you go at a certain time of year, during a certain week, and you have this special deal, you could potentially pay less while staying in Walt Disney World versus outside. But you really have to be flexible on your time of wanting to go, and how many days you want to stay, and that whole thing. But all in all, it comes down, like I said, to convenience versus finance. If you absolutely have to pay less when going to when doing anything, staying off-site will be for you. If you're a person that doesn't mind to pay a little bit more for convenience, Disney has a lot of options that will be there to help you. The value resorts are very convenient. They're cheaper. You get all the perks of a value or of a luxury resort in Walt Disney World, with the extra magic hours and the Magical Express and all that stuff. And even the people who clean your rooms still make those little towel animals, which are really nice. So that really, that they all help you with that. And it just adds to, your enjoyment of your vacation. But again, if you absolutely have to be saving money and you don't like Disney World that much, you're just doing this for your kids and the kids won't care about where you're staying, then stay off-site. It's okay. I totally understand. A lot of my friends have done it because that's the only way they can go down for them. And if the only way you can go down to Disney World is staying off-site, just stay off-site because you're going to enjoy Disney World as it is. The parks are amazing. I'm just trying to tell you that the hotels can be just as amazing because the themings are completely outstanding. The service is impeccable, and it's all clean, everything's great, and I've never had a problem at a Disney hotel. And plus, for me, I just like to stay, to say that I was staying on site, and it was really convenient for me, and I just really enjoyed it. And staying off site would always be an option for me if I absolutely had to go down. But I'll always save a little, take a little extra time to save my money and to have the vacation that I want. I'd rather have the vacation that I want a little bit later than the vacation that, I really don't want and I'm kind of compromising it, but just to, bump up my, my time of going down. So I really don't care about all that. I'll wait a little extra to go on the vacation of my dreams. So it's all worth it to me. But I hope you guys, enjoyed this. If you have stayed off of Disney and you have any more advice, I guess you could say, because I really don't have that much experience staying off-site of Disney, post in the comments. Don't be mean or anything about it, but post in the comments if you have some advice and whatnot, because I would love to hear what you guys have to say, because it definitely is an option for many people. A lot of people do it. They stay off-site. When they go down to Disney World, so it's not like an abnormal thing. A lot of people do it. So again, if you have any advice for me for doing that, for staying off-site, let me know. And I'm sure I didn't mention something. I tried to capture all the big things about it. So on-site versus off-site, I'm saying stay on-site, but if you have to go off-site, it's totally understandable, and you will save a bunch of money. That's almost guaranteed. So good stuff there. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Disney news and reviews. Again, this is prep month, so I want to be talking about all this different stuff next week. 2 more things that should help influence you when going down to Walt Disney World. So yeah, if anybody from Disney is watching, please don't sue me. I really want people to stay in your hotels, but you gotta understand that people will stay off-site as long as they go to your parks and enjoy them. It doesn't really matter, right? And if you are going down to Disney World, be sure to go to allears.net, touringplans.com, wdwmagic.com for all your latest and greatest Disney news. Passporter.com is pretty good too. They're going to be sending me this book. I'm really interested to check it out. WaltDisneyWorld.com is good too. Another great place. All the stuff that you could ever need is there, obviously, because it's the big thing. So yeah, next week should be fun. I'm looking forward to this next week. I'm hoping we get a little bit of snow so I can get a little bit of extra overtime money, but we'll see. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think all the snow or the work canceling snow, I guess you could say, is all over. So I'll see you guys next week for another Disney news and reviews. So guys, where in the world am I this week? It's going to be tough. Bye guys.